The test optional era is officially over. Ivy League set policy update for the class of 2027. Big news for college applicants, with Yale announcing this spring that it is ending its test flexible policy and returning to mandatory SAT or ACT submission. And Columbia University officially announcing just days ago that it will require SAT or ACT scores, starting with the 2027 to 2028 admission cycle. All 8 Ivy League schools now require standardized test scores. The test optional era is officially over. So what exactly are the latest requirements? Let's start with Harvard. Harvard requires applicants to submit SAT or ACT scores. However, if a student faces significant barriers, such as financial hardship or lack of testing access, Harvard may accept AP, IB, A-level, or national examination results as alternatives. That said, Harvard has made it clear if you have access to the SAT or ACT, you should submit those scores. Yale is even more straightforward. Beginning with the class of 2027 application cycle, Yale requires all applicants to submit SAT or ACT scores and no longer accepts AP or IB scores as substitutes. Yale has stated that standardized tests remain one of the strongest predictors of future academic success. Princeton is one of the last Ivies to return to testing requirements. Students applying for fall 2027, admission can still apply without scores, but starting with the following admissions cycle, fall 2028 entry, SAT or ACT scores will once again be mandatory. The University of Pennsylvania, Brown, Cornell, and Dartmouth have already fully reinstated testing requirements. Among them, Dartmouth remains somewhat flexible for international students. Applicants studying outside the United States may submit SAT or ACT scores, but can also use AP, IB, A-level, or national examination results to satisfy the requirement. The biggest recent change comes from Columbia University. For years, many families viewed Columbia as the last major test optional holdout among the Ivies. But in June 2026, Columbia officially announced that both first-year and transfer applicants must submit SAT or ACT scores beginning with the 2027 to 2028 admissions cycle. Columbia is now the final Ivy League institution to move away from pandemic-era test option policies. What is even more interesting is that pressure is growing beyond the Ivy League. Recently, more than 800 University of California faculty members signed a petition urging the UC system to reconsider standardized testing requirements. The trend is becoming increasingly clear. At highly selective universities, your coursework and GPA determine whether you are academically qualified. Standardized test scores strengthen your academic profile, and your research, competitions, leadership experiences, essays, and recommendations are what ultimately separate you from other top applicants. If you are currently in 10th or 11th grade and aiming for the Ivy League, Michigan T, Stanford, or other top 20 universities, one of the most important things you can do right now is build a serious SAT or ACT plan. Because in college admissions today, testing is no longer optional. It is competitive again. We've put together a complete guide covering every Ivy League school's current SAT and ACT policy, expected policy changes for the next 2 cycles, and preparation strategies. Comment SAT update below, and we'll send it to you.